Okay guys, today we just wanted to talk to you a little bit about the pros and cons of boondocking and paid campsites. We've been doing this for just over a year now, so we feel like we've got a little bit of experience in that. And not either one is not right or wrong, it's just our opinion on what we like better or what we don't like.
Right, what we may like, you may not, or vice versa. So
right.
It's just each his own.
Yeah, individual preference, but we just kind of wanted to go over what our pros and cons are.
As far as boondocking and paid campsites.
Yes. So I would boondocking, obviously it's free. You know, so that's the number one pro. You don't have to pay for anything, and
free is always a con or a pro.
Yeah, always.
No matter what it is.
Yep. Number two, I would say nobody's, usually when you're boondocking, there's nobody around. You're pretty much by yourself. It's quiet. It's peaceful.
And that pro can also be a con also, because sometimes when you get so far out and you're out for a long period of time, it can get lonely when you're not socializing with other people. I mean, we socialize with each other, yes, but you want to be able to talk and socialize and meet new friends and stuff like that. So that's a pro and a con. That can go in either category.
Right. Something else I like about boondocking a lot is we're able to let the girls be a little bit more free. Obviously, we always keep an eye on them, make sure they're safe, but it's just nice to give them a little bit more roaming room, even if they're on their 25-foot cord.
Right.
That's...
And most RV parks are going to have a leash rules that they got to be on a short leash.
Most of the time.
They can't wander around. They can't, roam around, which is fine. I don't like seeing, pit bulls and stuff. And I'm not saying all pit bulls are mean, but I feel safer knowing that they're on a leash rather than roaming around free.
Right.
But out here when there's nobody around, and we want to let the dogs off the leash, they're not going nowhere. Right. They're not hurting nothing. So it gives them a little bit of freedom that they need too.
Yeah. The other thing is you can open your windows and you don't have to worry about one, hearing other people, or two, everybody hearing what you're saying or having to listen to your television,
Right. Some of them paid sites, they want to put you so close, and that's going to be another one of the cons, but they put you so close. Like we was at Escapees just a couple weeks ago at Rainbow Park, and we were there on Wednesday and Thursday, or Tuesday and Wednesday, something like that. And the Friday was boot camp. Mm-hmm. So people were going to be there starting Friday. So they were reserving spots, even though they weren't even going to be there on Friday, but they were blocking them spots. So they had us, one spot that they wanted us to pull into was in the grass right next to someone's spot.
In between two people's spots.
Between two spots, they wanted us to pull in the grass. And the people's had a big Class A RV, really nice. They had their slide out. Our bed would have been right. We wouldn't even have been able to walk in between where our bed is and their slide out. Yeah. So that, that's just too close to be to somebody.
Right. But yeah, so being able to, and when you're boondocking, being able to open up your windows and just not have to worry about hearing anything except for the birds chirping is really nice. The other thing is just being in nature. A lot of times when you're boondocking, you just feel more like you're a part of nature. Most
of the free boondocking spots are pretty far off the beaten path, to find the nice ones. And the majority of them are out west. It's the more east you go, the harder it is to find good free spots. Now, we are, like Central America right now, we're on the border of Texas and Louisiana, so we got pretty lucky finding the spot we're at, but it's a free place with hookups. So you don't find that very often. Texas, I've noticed, has had a few, but that's not the norm in most states.
Yeah, no. Texas, I feel like they do a pretty good job at offering free camping for people. My last pro for boondocking, not that there's not more, just the ones I came up with, was wildlife. Seems like you get to see a lot more wildlife whenever you're out boondocking.
Right. When we were at the Grand Canyon, we stayed right outside of the entrance to the Grand Canyon, and there was elk everywhere. I mean, it was it's beautiful out there.
Yeah.
You're not going to get that in. Well, I take that back. We have been to a couple paid spots where there were elk roaming around through the park and stuff, but
not always.
And that's not all the time.
Yeah. Usually, the more traffic of people, the less wildlife you're going to see.
Right.
Our cons for boondocking, he's already mentioned a couple of them. You know, you're off the beaten path, which, I mean, that can be a pro and a con. It can be a con in the fact that if you run out of propane, you run out of water, and you don't have those resources next to you, you're going to have to drive forever to go get those items, or you're just going to end up leaving, packing up, and going somewhere else.
Or if you break down somewhere out there, then you know it's going to be harder to get help. Even if you got AAA or whatever your roadside may be, you're going to be out there for a long time waiting, and it may be, if you're having power issues and you don't have no power for the RV or whatever it is, it's not going to be a good thing.
Right. The other thing is the roads tend to be very difficult to navigate through. That one that we went whenever we went down Lake Whitney.
Yes, we were going to Lake Whitney here in Texas. We actually drove way out of our way to get to that spot, and the way the GPS took us, we went down a road that was so badly tore up that you had to drive about 5 miles an hour for about 5 miles to get there. I mean, They had deep potholes. There was a lot of flooding in the area at the time too, and this was just a few weeks ago. And then when we got there, well, I won't mention that right now because that's another one of our cons on something else.
That's on this one. The other thing is just not being near anything. So if you forget anything, you're kind of SOL, I guess, because you're not going to drive a half hour to go pick up marshmallows or...
Right, it's not like boondocking in a Walmart parking lot which that is almost a no-no because you want to spend money every time you park there.
Yeah.
That's why Walmart loves the RVers,
Yep. But just not having everything around you. Again, that can be a pro and a con, it's just if you forget something, sometimes you could have a half hour, 45-minute drive to find a store. It doesn't have to be a Walmart even, but just to be able to find a store could be a little bit of a trek.
Hope you guys can hear us because the wind just started picking up out here a little bit.
Yeah.
It's been calm all day until we started filming.
Marshall's already touched on some of the other things. There's no one... running out of water on propane. That is no fun and have a hard time getting to where that's at. Another thing that we've had an issue with a few times is there's nobody to contact at a lot of these free campsites. Sometimes, like here, we got lucky. It was right by the Chamber of Commerce, so we was able to get a hold of them. But sometimes, even if they have a phone number, there's nobody there to answer.
And that was the case with Lake Whitney. There was for the free spot. Now, for the paid campground, sure, we could have probably called, but we weren't looking for a paid campground. We just found the free spot on freecampsites.net or Campinion, whichever it was, and decided to go out of our way and go there. And when we got there, the gates were closed. They were shut down. The camp host came out and told us, no can do. They were closed down because of the flooding in the area. And come to find out, all the parks around in the area were closing down.
And that's another thing to, we had no clue about the weather. We had no clue about the rain that they had all summer. So we just didn't know that it would be flooded out there. So lesson learned.
Right.
The other thing is we love campsite.net and Campinium, but you can't always trust them.
Freecampsites.net.
Freecampsites.net.
I always forget to say the free.
Yeah, freecampsites.net and Campinium. They're a great resource, but you can't always trust them, so try to do some of your own research with that too, because sometimes a person's post might be 3 or 4 years old,
right?
And things have changed since then. So.
And a lot of them places, especially I've noticed on freecampsites.net, they don't have a lot of reviews. Maybe one review, and you're taking a chance going out of your way to go to a spot that you know nothing about based on one review. So, it's a chance you're going to take.
Yeah. So we usually try to do a little bit of research,
yeah.
And I really, really, really try to find phone numbers because we just like to be able to talk to somebody.
Or looking on Campendium and freecampsites.net and finding the same campground and then finding more reviews.
Right. So that's all for boondocking. Our campsite pros are pretty obvious. There's hookups. I mean, you're paying for the hookups. Usually when we go, we're going to pay for electric and water because it's only a couple more dollars,
Right.
So we almost always pay for that. The showers. They almost always have a laundromat, so you can get your laundry done while you're there. There are people there that you can socialize with. Most of the time we find that campers are the most friendly people.
Right. We've met a lot of nice people since we've been RVing.
Yep. And like somebody else said on Facebook, they said campsites are the only place you can walk around with a bag of dog poop and in your pajamas and strike up a conversation with somebody.
Right.
So there's that. Most likely your spot's going to be level. Most likely. They're usually a lot easier to find. You're going to have detailed directions and stuff like that. There's always somebody to contact if you have any questions on your way out there. Another pro about campsites is it's not off the beaten path, and most of the time they will have a store at the campsite. So if you forget anything or need something, you can always go there to get it.
You're going to pay for it, though.
Oh, yeah.
It ain't never cheap there.
No.
Because they know you can't go get it nowhere else.
Yeah, but one time we paid $7 for an 8-ounce jar of salsa. But
it was really good.
It was amazing. It was like a sweet chili salsa. It was awesome.
It was somebody local that makes it, so you got to try it out.
Yep, it was great. So something, and stores are nearby. You can almost always count on some kind of store, even if it's a small local grocery store. There's going to be something near you.
Not all the time.
Most of the time, but not all the time.
Yeah.
Our cons to campsites is, like Marshall was saying earlier, congestion. Sometimes they just want to pack you in like sardines and put you right on top of each other.
Right. It's all about real estate. They want to get as much money as they can from you. So.
Yeah. And sometimes the campsites don't even feel like a campsite. It feels more like a parking lot,
Yeah, or a trailer park or something.
Yeah.
That's another thing. A lot of them have people that live there full time. And if you're going to a lower price one, if you're trying to save some money and go to a park that's under $30 or under $50, a lot of times there's people living there and they don't really seem to take care of the places much as some of the other places do. But we've been in a couple that we stayed one night and we're ready to go.
Yeah, we've stayed in a couple too that were like, there's no place to even walk the dogs. You got to walk a mile with them before you can find a spot for them to be able to go to the restroom.
Right.
So that's not a lot of fun. Sometimes you will find that the showers are gross. Sometimes they offer them, but they are just not good. So
kind of like here, even though this is free, the bathrooms are disgusting. This is a city park.
Yeah.
But they do not do good upkeep on their bathrooms.
I mean, I've been to some that have beautiful bathrooms, but most of the time,
state parks and stuff like that usually have really nice bathrooms and showers and stuff.
Yep.
But not all the places.
Yeah. And I don't want us to sound like we're just complaining, but these are just our cons. Another thing could be, sometimes your neighbor might be a young party animal, and you've got loud music and or people laughing and all that kind of stuff at 3:00 in the morning while you're trying to sleep.
Right.
So that's not always fun.
And sometimes they don't even say nothing to them people. They just let them do it. And for me, if they don't have a decent quiet time, I mean, at least past midnight or something like that, and I just don't want to go back there.
Right. The other thing is sometimes, you know, loud dogs, barking dogs. We have dogs, so we know what it's like. But if our dogs start barking, we just pick them up and make them stop, you know.
Right. Right away, we're on it.
On it, and because we don't want people to have to hear that, you know, our dogs yip. So that, and again, I don't want us to sound like we're complaining, but kids can be really loud and, you know, screaming at 7 o'clock in the morning, and you're just waking up. So we don't have kids, so
Yeah.
we don't have to worry about that. The last one would be the rules, because sometimes you can't have a fire, you can't get fire, you can't collect firewood that's laying on the ground. You have to pay $5 for a stick.
Yeah, they want your money for something that's should be free to everybody.
Right. Some of them don't allow pets, and again, like Marshall said, they've got to be on a 5-foot leash or something like that, to where they just get no roaming around.
Right. And you know, sometimes you have people that run the campsites that really enjoy enforcing all the rules.
Yes.
It's like they just get off on making sure you're doing what they want you to do.
Mm-hmm.
So there's, you know, it just goes to show there's pros and there's cons, and sometimes the pros are the cons and the cons can be the pros. It just depends on what mood you're in, what you're looking for, and like I said, to each his own. Everybody's different.
Yeah. For us, I would say we do a lot of boondocking. We just kind of like being out in nature. You know, it's not about being alone, because we love socializing. We love meeting people. If you guys ever see us out, stop and say hi, because we really do like to meet people. And
we went to Quartzsite last year. This time last year we was in Quartzsite. Was it this time? It was about January.
Yeah.
About January we were in Quartzsite, and the couple that was parked next to us where we were at, nicest couple in the world. They'd come over every morning, and we'd sit out with them in the evening.
Yeah.
They were an older couple with a nice Class A, but it's just really nice to be able to socialize and meet new people.
Yeah.
Because sometimes you get bored. You know, I mean, we've been talking to each other for how many years now?
15.
15 years. So sometimes, you know, we just run out of things to talk about, but it's nice.
Yeah. So yeah, like I said, that's just our list of pros and cons. Yours might be different. Some of our cons might be your pros, and that's fine. Like I said, we've been doing this for just over a year now, and we still like to do a little bit of both. You know, we like to do the paid campsites. We just do our research. You know, we really try to make sure that we're getting our bang for our buck, because we're on a budget and we don't want to just blow $50 for a night at a campsite.
Right.
So.
Somebody's mad or
She's stuck.
All right, well, I guess we're gonna close this video out, and we were gonna leave today to go to Winnie, to Stowell Park, but we decided to stay here one more night. Yep. It looks like clouds are moving in. It's supposed to be rain for the next God knows how long. I mean, I looked at the 14-day weather forecast, and just cloudy, rain, and it does not help for when you're running off solar.
Yeah. We always say, though, if you guys need rain, just call us.
Yeah. We're thinking about driving through California and maybe help them out.
Yeah, right.
All right. Anyway, guys, thanks for watching.
And please like, subscribe, and share our videos, please.
And we will be back tomorrow.
Yep. Bye.
Bye.